Hey, it's me, the internet mustache guy. No, not that one, the other one. No, not that one, the other one. No, silly, not that one, the other one. That's the guy. Oh, wait, fuck. I'm in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and I'm taking some time out of my trip to bring to you some YouTube exclusive content. YouTube exclusive content. There are these guys that are putting a roof down on a building that's under construction next to my Airbnb, and they've got these torches, and it's very loud. The torches are like spraying fire out of these like hot hoses. I don't know if we're gonna hear it or not. I feel like it's Canada, right? Like I could just open up the door and be like, hey, I'm trying to shoot a YouTube video in here. Could you guys knock it off? And they'd be like, sorry, yeah, no problem, eh? But yeah, I got myself into some TikTok drama again. It's nowhere near as fraught or interesting this time as it was with Jeff Meade. With Jeff Meade, there was a part of me that was like a little concerned, genuinely, that I might be exposing myself to potential legal action. And there was a part of me that felt like a little concerned about the portion of my audience that didn't like that I wasn't entirely honest with Jeff. But today's TikTok drama is just kind of more fun, I think. And I do want to say up front that like, if you're coming to this video for educational purposes or to be enlightened or uplifted, this might not be the video for you today. This just might not be the one. I don't know that we're gonna do much learning together today. I think we can have a good time. I think we can have fun. And there's gonna be a fair amount of dunking, but this isn't going to be a deep intellectual exercise so much as it's going to be a deep dive into the dark, deluded world of the average Trump supporter. This video is not a debate between me and the person I'm primarily going to be reacting to. I want to be really clear about this. It is not my intent in this video to be debating with this woman. I'm not trying to go point by point through the things that she says to show you how much better my arguments are or how much more sound my logic is. That would quite literally be like if I made a whole entire video trying to show you how much better my brain is than like a 12-year-old kid's. And I'm not saying that to be rude, I'm saying that to be as accurate and honest as I possibly can. And that's another thing about this video. We're just getting all the content advisories and warnings out of the way up front. I'm not going to go out of my way in this video to be nice. I'm not going to go out of my way to be mean. I'm not going to like try to be as mean as I possibly can. Rest assured, however mean you think I'm getting in this video, I could get meaner. So I'm not going to go out of my way to be as mean as I possibly can, but I'm also just not going to bend over backwards or twist myself into a pretzel trying to be as nice as I possibly can. I'm just going to try to be accurate. So this video isn't a debate video. It's not even really a dunk fest. What it is primarily, what I'm hoping it is a character study. This video is going to be a sort of psychological analysis of the kind of person who has decided to go all in on Donald J. Trump. What is that person's worldview like? What makes them tick? What makes them do the things that they do? Why are they? Why are they? Why are they? All right, so it all started off when this woman, Lisa, went on TikTok and did this.
Hey, Trump haters. Come here. Just for you. Come here. Now, if you're not a Trump hater, just scroll on. This message is not for you. I have a question. Why do you hate him? Why do you hate him so much? Why are you hell-bent to hate a human being so much? I gotta know. I've never really gotten a real answer from anyone before in all of these 8 long years. So please, fill me in. Stitch me. Tell me why you hate this man so much.
This video did pretty well for Lisa. It got about 200,000 views, which for a channel her size is like pretty good. The ratio on that video was bad. It was very bad. But it got a lot of people to engage, and a lot of people responded to her video attempting to answer her question, because apparently in the last 8 years, no one's been able to answer that question for her. And one of those people who responded to her was me, Internet Mustache Guy. No, the other Internet Mustache Guy. No, the other Internet Mustache Guy. Yes, him. No, fuck. God damn it. So let's watch what I said. Hey there, Trump supporter. Come here. Now come here, come on, come here, come on in. Come on in so close. Come here now. Come on, listen up, here we go. I have a really fun idea for you. How about, instead of me taking my time to answer your incredibly bad faith question only to have you ignore the answer that I offer you, the same way that you've ignored the thousands of people in your comments who have attempted to answer your incredibly bad faith question. Because, I mean, let's be honest, it's a ridiculous question and you're a ridiculous person. I mean, where do you get the unmitigated audacity to, in the year 2023, come onto Beyonce's internet and pretend that no one's ever been able to explain to you why they don't like Donald Trump, one of the most unbelievably unlikable people in the history of humanity. So we're not going to bother doing that today. What we're going to do instead, that I think is going to be real fun, is I want you to answer a question for me instead, okay? You think you can do that? I'm going to play you a video. It's kind of long, so you got to be real patient, fold your arms and pay attention, put your listening ears on and your thinking cap on, okay? Watch the whole clip, and once it's done, I want you to make a video and explain to me why you still like Donald Trump and why you think that Donald Trump would make a good president again.
Jeff understands that the job of Attorney General is to serve and protect the people of the United States. And that is exactly what he will do, and do better than anybody else can. Jeff Sessions was a disaster as Attorney General. Should have never been Attorney General. He's not qualified. He's not mentally qualified to be Attorney General. We hope Bill Barr is going to be as good as we think, because Bill is he's a great gentleman, a great man. And by the way, when Bill Barr, who's, a coward, Bill Barr was a coward. Bill Barr didn't do what he was supposed to do. I fired him, and he has great hatred. In his new role as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Milley will serve as my top military advisor. I have absolute confidence that he will fulfill his duty with the same brilliance and fortitude he has shown throughout his long and very distinguished career. Milley, frankly, was incompetent. The last one I'd want to attack with as my leader would be Milley. John Kelly will do a fantastic job. General Kelly has been a star, done an incredible job thus far, respected by everybody, a great, great American. I know John Kelly. He was with me, didn't do a good job, had no temperament, and ultimately he was petered out. He was exhausted. This man was totally exhausted. He wasn't even able to function. I am confident that Jay has the wisdom and leadership to guide our economy through any challenges that our great economy may face. And, I had my own situation with Powell, and I beat the hell out of him. I was not a big fan of Powell. He was recommended by some people. I didn't like him. We are going to appoint Mad Dog Mattis as our Secretary of Defense. They say he's the closest thing to General George Patton that we have, and it's about time. It's about time. Mattis was a highly overrated general, didn't do the job, didn't do good on ISIS. Mattis was fired, as you know, by President Obama, and I fired him also. Rex Tillerson, Secretary of State. Going to do a great job. He's respected all over the world, and I think he's going to go down as one of our great, great secretaries.
In an angry tweet this morning, he called Tillerson, quote, dumb as a rock and totally ill-prepared and ill-equipped to be Secretary of State.
Mark Esper was a highly respected gentleman with a great career, West Point, Harvard, a tremendous talent, was just named acting Secretary of Defense.
He has said, quote, you were a lightweight, a figurehead. He said Mark Esper was weak, totally ineffective. He said he would do anything I wanted.
Secretary Chow, you've been so fantastic in so many ways. Transportation, it's just moving along, and you've done a fantastic job for me and for the country, and I appreciate all that you do.
In his post on Truth Social, Trump said McConnell, quote, has a death wish and must immediately seek help and advice from his China-loving wife, Coco Chow.
So yeah, anyway, and I think it's worth mentioning that, like, that's just one thing about Donald Trump that people don't like. His ineptitude at his job and his inability to effectively hire good people is just like one reason out of thousands that people find him to be awful. But that really ought to be enough. Just like watching it that way, seeing it from him, just seeing it straight out of the horse's ass. But I know you, I know how your brain works, and I know that watching that clip didn't do anything for you. I'm not even sure that you probably even heard the words that were coming out of his mouth. You just like saw Trump on the camera and you were like, yay, that's the guy that I like him. Didn't even matter that like what he was literally saying in that clip was over and over and over again, I just hired the best guy for this job. I'm so good at president that I only hire the best people. Only to just like a few weeks later say the exact opposite and be like, that guy was the worst hire anyone's ever made. I don't know who hired him. It definitely wasn't me. That's what I want you to explain. I think that that's a way more worthwhile thing for someone to explain. I think it's way more worthwhile to try to figure out how you still like him after everything that he has done and everything that he is. It's way more worthwhile for you to try to explain that than it is for us to try to explain why we don't like him. Like, I'm just way more interested in like what's going on in your head that you see stuff like that and it just doesn't get in there. I'm just like, you're a medical marvel to me. Can't wait to hear your response. Yeah, so not too bad, right? I tried to kind of like flip the script a little bit. I genuinely didn't see much use in trying to explain to her why people don't like Donald Trump. That seemed like a complete waste of time. I genuinely feel like the far more interesting question is, why do people like him? And I was really hoping that Lisa would respond, and she did, and she did not disappoint at all. I'm going to get this out of the way before we go any deeper into the video. In the interest of being accurate and honest, I'm kind of obsessed with Lisa. I kind of love Lisa in like the worst way. Like, Lisa's awful, but she's also awful in just such an indescribably wonderful way that you can like watch a person and intellectually understand that they're totally off the rails and not in touch with reality. But you can also sort of enjoy the zest with which they go about being totally off the rails and not in touch with reality. Okay, so Lisa's response to me, if you had to guess on like a Trump supporter bingo card how Lisa's response to me would go, would you guess that she would use the condescending tone of my video to say that I was bullying her and cast herself in the role of victim so that she could deflect answering the question I posed to her? Would you guess that she would say she's going to answer the question, but then just say a bunch of nonsense that has nothing to do with the question I asked her instead? Would you guess that she would do a bunch of goalpost shifting and decide to pick a bunch of petty fights on other topics that she can't win just to deflect from having to engage with the question I asked her? Ooh, I want to say one. It's me, Austin, who's editing this video on a park bench in downtown Toronto. I would guess that she would get randomly racist for no reason at some point in the video. That would be on my bingo card. Or would you guess that she would do some combination of all of those things and just be the most stereotypical Trump supporter out there on the internet. Yeah, it's the last one. It's the last one. I'm really annoyed at the sun right now. It was really in a good spot when I was setting up filming this, and it's just like, I'm like, there, am I, and now I'm like, Toronto, dude, I'm trying to do natural lighting here, and it's really screwing me over. All right, we'll see how that does. I lifted the thing up more. It was so nice. The sun was like behind a cloud, and it was just like nice and diffused. And then as soon as I started shooting, the sun just started, it just got in this like direct position, and it's just right in my fucking face. All right, let's look at Lisa's response video.
Hey there, Trump supporter. Come here.
What's up? What's up, Trump hater? What do you got? So I guess I have to answer your questions? I didn't know that you made the rules, but I'm gonna play along. But I want you to come here. Come here.
Oh my God. Okay, so right off the bat, God, you see why I love Lisa? You see why I'm obsessed with Lisa? You see why Lisa's just like so fucking good? I love that she got all glammed up for this. Like, Lisa, thank you. Thank you for like dressing up for the occasion. I genuinely appreciate it. But you know that thing I said earlier about how this isn't a debate video, this isn't a video where I'm gonna go point by point and show why my logic is better than another person's, because that would be the same as me doing that to like a 12-year-old kid. This is what I mean. This is what I'm being as specific as I can when I say that. I'm not just trying to be rude. Because right out of the gate here, the lack of self-awareness, the lack of any awareness of the circumstances of what we're doing here that Lisa has. Lisa's opening up with this tone where she feels like she's mocking me as a way to like mirror what I was doing. She even said as much in the comments. Here, I'll read it for you. Somebody said, "Why must you be so condescending and nasty?" And Lisa said, "That's how he talked to me." And it's just like, the lack of self-awareness exists at a truly fascinating level. Because how could Lisa not be aware that my tone in my video, the one that she's intentionally mocking and mimicking, was mocking and mimicking her tone from the first video? My video doesn't just exist in a vacuum. I didn't just make that video out of the blue on a whim one day because I decided I wanted to attack this random person on the internet. My video was a direct response to her video. My tone and my mannerisms, including the come here, that was what she did in the first video. And then she just does it back to me in her response video. And it's like, I don't know how else to describe what she's doing here other than this is how kids fight. This is how kids argue. This is how little children do this. So like, you know, you're playing basketball at recess and one kid thinks he got fouled and he goes, "That's a foul, man." And he like, you know, kind of says it kind of whiny. And then the other kid goes, "That's a foul, man." And then the first kid just goes, "That's a foul, man." And it's like, no, I was making fun of you. And then the other kid goes, "No, I was making fun of you." And it's like, wait, hold on, what? Like that's what kids do, right? And it's a self-preservation technique. You feel embarrassed, you feel a little humiliated, your pride is hurt, your ego has taken a hit. Oh, the sun is going behind a cloud. Thank fuck. Never mind, it's back now. Jesus Christ. And in response to that ego hit, in response to that pride hit, in response to that embarrassment and humiliation, you just create a story in your head where you're the person who's actually got the upper hand. That kid who made fun of you by saying, "Oh, that was a foul, man," he didn't get you. No, you're gonna get him by mimicking his voice that he was doing to mimic you. And this tactic doesn't work for 12-year-olds. It's ineffective for 12-year-olds, and it's definitely not working for Lisa, who is older than 12. I'm not gonna say how old, because I don't know. I could speculate, but it's old, and I'm not saying that to be rude, not saying that as a pejorative or an ad hominem, just she's Oh no, she's old. She's an adult. She's been an adult for a long time. Let's just say she's been a technical adult for longer than I have. I also love how she's like, oh, so I have to answer your questions now? That's how this works? As though it's just entirely unreasonable of me to pose a question to her. Lisa's allowed to ask everyone on the internet why they don't like Donald Trump, because who could possibly figure that one out? But I'm not allowed to ask Lisa why she likes Donald Trump. That's just an entirely unreasonable question to ask a person.
Because this is the video that you've long been waiting for. My take on one of my favorite people, Donald Trump.
Did she try to wink right there? Was that... Let's play it back. I can't be sure, but I think she was trying to wink. Let's keep going.
I don't look at things from the same set of eyes that you guys do, because I think you guys are intimidated by him because of some type of triggering that's going on. Like, the only reason that you can be so mad at one man is because he represents maybe your childhood. Like, maybe you weren't heard. Maybe you were bullied. Maybe you don't like that mad guy.
All right, she does this for about a full minute. But the gist of it is she's saying that we don't like Donald Trump because maybe we're intimidated by him because he reminds us of people who were mean to us when we were kids. Lisa has just gotten thousands and thousands and thousands of responses from people trying to explain to her why they don't like Donald Trump. So many different reasons. All the reasons that you're thinking of, you know, just the many sexual assault allegations, the grab her by the thing, mocking disabled reporters, calling Mexicans all of the crimes, just the so many crimes, just the many crimes he committed. Being a really awful loser, just being a person who is unwilling to accept that he's ever lost at anything, even though he loses at things all the time. Being a horrible businessman, even though he markets himself as a not horrible businessman, which is the opposite of what he is, which is a really bad businessman who is bad at business. Just being a person who lacks taste or class, being a person who has no sense of humor, who's just entirely devoid of any humanity. Just so many answers have been given to this woman, and all she can come up with is, we don't like Trump because he vaguely reminds us of people who were mean to us when we were kids. And you know, even if that were the only reason we didn't like him, that's not like an invalid reason to not like someone. If you encounter someone in your adult life that reminds you of people who were unreasonably cruel to you and mean to you when you were growing up, a person who reminds you of your childhood bullies because that person is themselves a bully, an adult who never really grew up, who never really emotionally matured and remained a bully, it's perfectly reasonable to not like that person. I'm putting on my sunglasses because this Toronto sun is just, I'm over it, dude. I'm fucking over it. It has been overcast every single day that I've been here, and the second I sit down to shoot a YouTube video, the sun just full blast right in my face. But yeah, like, even if Lisa's idea of why we don't like Donald Trump were accurate, that it was just because we think he's mean and a bully, that's a perfectly fine reason to not like a person. She was asking in her original video why we don't like him, saying no one's ever been able to explain it. Lisa, even if that is the answer and it's just that, that's your answer. And it's also all of the other things. It's also all the other things that all of the thousands of people that responded to you said. It's also all of those things.
Understand, I'll have to handle you with kid gloves because I also know you don't really like facts too much. So you put in the video.
I love that cut. She cut herself off. She wasn't done talking. She was like, I know you don't like facts too much, and that's just a thing that you don't really. And then she just cut herself off. She just cut herself off right in the middle of talking.
So you put in the video about Trump putting people in positions that didn't really work out. And I think that I've had those issues as well, right? As a matter of fact, you having a 1 point something million following, I had high hopes that your video would do some numbers, but it did less than mine. You know, this ridiculous, dumb, low class Trump supporter with only 61,000 followers. I did more numbers than you. So I had a lot of expectations on you and your followers and, you know, maybe to get more views and that would,
Okay, so first of all, this is her first pseudo attempt at answering the question that I asked her in my video, which was, you know, watching this clip, just this one clip of all of these people that Donald Trump hired and then later fired. And when he hired them, he said, I just hired the best person for the job. It's the best person anyone's ever hired for this job. No one could ever hire anyone better. I'm so good at hiring people. I'm literally no president has ever been better at hiring people than me. And then 2 weeks later being like, I can't believe how bad that person was at that job. That person fucking sucked at that job. Whoever hired that person is a fucking idiot. I didn't do it. And I just wanted to get her thoughts on that and see sort of filtered through her Trump cult brain what that looks like to her. And her response to it is more or less just like, yeah, you know, sometimes you have expectations of people and it doesn't work out. And like, I gotta say, if I were going to criticize the video that I made responding to Lisa, that's probably the area that I would dive into, is the way that I framed that video of Donald Trump. I sort of made it look like, you know, Donald Trump is really bad at hiring people because he thought he was hiring all these good people and they turned out to be bad at their jobs. Somebody in my comments said this: you went the wrong way with this. You showed a perfect example of how he would fire anyone not willing to do his bidding, then said it proved how inept he was at hiring the right people. Maybe, hear me out, they were the right people who tried to do the right thing and got fired because they weren't loyal to Trump. Not debating Trump was bad, just think you tried proving the wrong side of what your video shows. And I agree with this. I think this is a good point. But I also think that both things can be true. I think it can be true that Trump fired those people because they weren't willing to just be loyal lapdogs and do whatever he wanted them to do, which was most likely a lot of illegal things that they weren't allowed to do. He probably wanted them to do crimes for him, and they weren't willing to do crimes for him. But I also don't think that we should go as far as to say that, like, these were all really noble, great people that he hired who stood up to him, and that's why he fired them, but they were all actually the right people for the job. No, like, anyone that is in Donald Trump's circle and getting hired by Donald Trump is also not great. They might not be as bad as Donald Trump, but they're not, like, awesome people. I think both things can be true, that, yeah, Trump fired them because they weren't willing to just toe the line and do whatever he said, but also that shows that Trump is inept at hiring. He's bragging about how good he is at hiring people, and all of these people he's hiring keep not working out the way that he wants them to work out. Which also makes Lisa's rationalization of that clip kind of weak, right? She's just like, yeah, you know, sometimes you have expectations of people and those expectations don't work out. But that's not what's shown in that clip. Donald Trump's not just like, yeah, you know, we wanted it to work out with General Mad Dog. We thought he was the right guy for the job and it just wasn't a great fit. No, Donald Trump's on stage in front of a crowd of screaming fans saying, we just hired the best general since General George Patton, and it's about damn time. And then just a few months later being like, nah, he was terrible hire, awful hire, huge mistake. And he's never taking personal accountability for it. He's never like, that's on me, I'm the boss, I gotta take accountability for that. He's always dumping it off on someone else. Like, I don't know who suggested him to me, but they were way wrong, way out of line.
Way out of line, way out of line.
But yeah, let's get into this other space that Lisa decides to take her video to. The whole numbers thing. Lisa had expectations that because my account is the size that it is, that I would do more numbers than her on my video. I want to be really, really clear. This is not an argument that I would ever make to show that my points are more valid or that my logic is more airtight than another person's. I would never point to how many numbers my video has or how many approving comments or likes my video has versus the other person's. I would never point to how many followers I have versus another person. I don't think that that's a relevant thing to point out. But Lisa has made the choice to take it to this place. Lisa made the choice to use numbers as a way to argue that somehow her video was more valid than mine. Lisa decided to take it to the place where she was going to use the numbers that each of our videos were doing as evidence that my video was underperforming and that I wasn't meeting the expectations of a person with a platform the size of the platform that I have. And again, getting into the character study aspect of this whole thing, the psychological analysis of this whole thing, like, why would you do this, Lisa? Why would you take it here? Why would you think that you could beat me at a numbers game? And this is sort of the delusion, the lack of self-awareness that I'm interested in, that I'm fascinated by with people like Lisa. How are you not aware on some level when you're choosing to make that argument in your video that it's most likely not going to wind up going well for you? Because okay, Lisa, let's look at the numbers. Currently, Lisa's response video to me, the one that we're watching, has about 30,000 views and 60 likes, which is just, it's an astonishing ratio. It's just like kind of an unfathomably bad ratio. And it has well over 2,000 comments, one of which is a comment from me where I said, I'm out for the night and probably won't be able to watch till later, but oh my God, I'm so excited you responded. I'm a Lisa fan. We know this. We've established this. My comment has 1,080 likes. My comment on her video has 1,020 more likes than her video has. But that's not fair. Let's look at the videos she was talking about. She was talking about the original videos. When she made her response video, at the time that she was making that video, her original video, the video that kicked all of this off, had about 220,000 views, which on an account the size of Lisa's is really good. That's good numbers. And at the time she was making that video, my video responding to her had about 198,000 views. So she was doing better than me in the views department. Now currently, at the time that I'm making this YouTube video, Lisa's original post, the original post that everyone responded to, has about 234,000 views and 908 likes with almost 12,000 comments. Now again, these ratios are just astonishingly bad. They're just astronomically bad. They're out of control. They're just wild. But yeah, her video is up to 230,000 views. Let's go check on how my video is doing. Hey, it's me, Austin, who's editing the video again, and I have a cold now. It's a few days later and I have a cold. What kind of bullshit is that? I'm on vacation. That's not cool. Anyway, as you can tell, Austin, who's filming the video, has no idea what the fuck he's talking about with any of these numbers. He's wrong about all of them. I'm constantly having to put a little thing on the screen correcting the numbers because they've all grown since then, and they'll all probably be different by the time you watch this video. But at the time that I'm currently editing the video, my video, the one that Lisa said she had done better numbers than, the one that she was like, I did better numbers than you. So she's got like 244K. My video has 3 million views and like 430,000 likes. So my video has like almost twice as many likes as her video has views. Obviously, I was going to do more numbers than you, Lisa. Again, I cringe to even be doing this. It doesn't feel right for me to be using the amount of views that my video has as like evidence that my video is good and hers is bad. But I'm genuinely curious, Lisa, if you wind up watching this video, what did you think was going to happen when you brought this point up? Why did you think that that was an area where you could like get the upper hand? Even if my video had stayed right where it stayed, 200,000 views for me is fine. I'm fine with a video getting 200,000 views. As a professional content creator, my views go up and down all the time, especially on a platform as fickle as TikTok. And I try not to measure the value of how well my content is performing based on views alone. Lisa says this at the end of the video.
You're playing the pander game. You don't want to be ratioed like I am. Like that even matters, because we know as creators that doesn't matter.
And like, no, Lisa, we don't know as creators that that doesn't matter. No, professional content creators do, I think for the most part, care if their videos wind up getting ratioed to hell. There's a thing that I personally pay attention to that I call the like to view ratio. I don't know if other content creators use this phrase or this terminology, I don't know. But it's straightforward enough. It's just how many likes versus how many views. So essentially how many people that are watching my video are liking it. I like my like to view ratio to sit on an average between 25 to 40%. 40% is really good. That means almost 1 in 2 people who are watching my video are liking it or saying, yes, I agree with this. Or if I was trying to make them laugh, yes, you made me laugh. Or if it's a song that I wrote, yes, I like this song. But in general, my videos tend to live 25 to 30% most of the time, I would say. I don't like when that ratio dips below 20%. My videos rarely ever go below 10%. But the fact of the matter is that in all of my years of doing this, in all of the thousands of videos that I've made for TikTok, I have never experienced a like to view ratio anywhere near as bad as the like to view ratio on Lisa's videos. It's like less than 1% of the people who are watching her videos that are liking them. And the like to view ratio isn't just important to me because I'm out for validation and popularity. It's important because it's how I gauge whether my content is still resonating with my audience. It's how I gauge whether or not the stuff that I'm putting out is still connecting with the people that I want it to connect with. I'm not just trying to get views. I'm not just posting videos over and over and over again until the algorithm randomly lets 200,000 people see a video. I'm not just playing the algorithmic slot machine in the hopes of getting views and nothing but views. If I were making videos and less than 1% of the people watching them were liking them, I would be concerned. I would be worried that something about what I'm presenting is really not connecting with the vast majority of people in the world. I would see that as evidence that I am dug in on opinions and worldviews that most of the people in the world or most of the people around me don't agree with and don't find relatable. And I'm not saying that just having support means that your ideas are good. Again, that's not the argument that I'm making. I wouldn't make that argument. I'm not making the argument that numbers alone prove that what you're saying is valid, because Trump's got numbers. He's got tens of millions of people, just like Lisa, who support him. Tucker Carlson has millions of fans. Matt Walsh has millions of fans. Ben Shapiro has millions of fans. And these people all suck. So I would not make the argument that numbers alone mean that what a person is saying or doing is good. But weirdly, Lisa chose to take it to that place. And if that is what you believe, Lisa, if you do believe that numbers are what shows the validity of what a person is saying, then again, psychologically, I'm just wondering how you're not concerned about what your own numbers are showing you.
So listen, we're going to go ahead and play along now, and I'm going to answer your bad faith question. Why do I still like Donald Trump? Well, see, mine's going to be primarily financial, right? Because I don't like seeing people working 2 and 3 jobs. I don't like seeing adults working at the grocery store and door dashing and Ubering and all that kind of weird stuff just because they need to make ends meet.
All right, so this whole section is just kind of hog wild. It's just wild. It's just fucking wild. Lisa it's just a big rant about the economy. On your Trump supporter bingo, if you had goalpost shifts and deflections, here you go. I asked about these people that he hired and then fired, and Lisa wants to shift the conversation to the economy. And again, this is the delusional world of the Trump supporter. Gas prices started going up in the first month of Joe Biden's presidency, and instantly Trump supporters were like, well, this is what happens when you elect Joe Biden. And it just showed such a fundamental lack of knowledge about international finance and the global economy. The president of the United States does not get elected and in month one call every country on the phone and say, we're doing higher gas prices. Gas prices are going up now. That's just not how any of that shit fucking works. And this whole idea that the economy was somehow just in this golden era for the 4 years that Donald Trump was president, again, it speaks to the deluded nature of Trumpism and the Trump cult. It's just objectively not true. It's just not true. It just didn't happen. It's just not something that's true. But I guess in a roundabout way, this is Lisa's way of trying to answer my question. I asked, why do you like Donald Trump despite all of the awful things that he does and says and is? And her answer is money, finances. I think that he's good with the economy. He's good with money. That's my answer. And just, yeah, okay, cool. Thank you for answering the question. And also wrong. You're wrong. He's bad with money. You're wrong about that. You're just wrong about that.
That the economy does better under the Democrats than the Republicans. It just seems that the economy does better under the Democrats than the Republicans. It just seems that the economy does better under the Democrats than the Republicans. It just seems that the economy does better under the Democrats than the Republicans. It just seems that the economy does better under the Democrats than the...
So why is Lisa like this? Why are Trump supporters like this? Why do they see the world the way that they do? There's some really interesting insights in the way that Lisa responds to people in her comments. Let's check those out. Somebody accurately says ratio, and Lisa says, ask the algorithm if it cares. And I think what she means is it doesn't matter. All that matters is that everybody who's engaging with my content, they're driving up my views, they're driving up my engagement, and they're telling the algorithm to show my content to more people. Which I guess in a weird way is yeah, sure. The algorithm doesn't necessarily care whether or not people agree with you or whether or not what you're saying makes any sense. All the algorithm sees is that your video is getting engagement and yeah, sure, it'll boost you up maybe in the algorithmic chain. I don't know how it works. Nobody knows how it works. But just, yeah, again, it's the worldview, the brain of a person like Lisa. She's aware that she's just getting decimated in the ratio, that just nobody agrees with her and nobody thinks her videos are good. And she's like, oh, well, the AI algorithm doesn't know that, and that's all I care about. And again, what's happening here psychologically is just self-preservation, right? It's just anything. It's just grasping at any branch that can preserve her ego and her pride and her sense of self. Babe, you're part of a cult. Trump is quite literally sexist, homophobic, and racist. Shit he said about women? Find a better hobby, Karen. No, you are part of a cult. Dude, Lisa is undefeated. She's goated with the sauce. She's got the riz. I fucking love Lisa. Somebody needs to give Lisa a reality TV show for real. But again, we have the 12-year-old thing, right? Just, hey, you're in a cult. No, you're in a cult. I know you are, but what am I? I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say bounces off me and sticks to you. This is a grown-ass person who has been a technical legal adult in the world for at least 30 years, probably closer to 40, maybe even getting up close to 50 years. Can't be sure, but she's been an adult for a long time. And her response to somebody saying, you're in a cult is, nuh-uh, you are. You know what a really good way to know if you're in a cult or not is if everyone in the world is saying you're in a cult and the only people who are saying you're not in a cult are other cult members. So just everyone in the world that looks at you and hears what you have to say says, oh, you're in a cult. And the only people who say, don't worry, no, you're not, everybody else is in a cult. The only people that back up your worldview are other people who are also in the cult. That's just grade A cult right there. You're in a cult for sure. Looks like you didn't even watch the video. Sweetheart, you're brainwashed. I said what I said. This is such an awesome response. This is such an epic response to someone being like, did you even watch the video you were responding to? Did you even realize that the condescending tone of the video you were responding to was mimicking your condescending tone in the original video? Did you even realize that him doing this thing, the come here thing, was in response to you doing come here in the original video? Did you even get that? And her response is just, I said what I said. Like, yeah, Lisa, we know. We just watched it. We know that you said what you said. We're wondering why you said what you said. That piece of shit don't scare anybody. Talking about Trump, of course, because she had the whole bit about how Trump intimidates us and scares us. And Lisa's response is, scares you. I sound like a broken record in this video. It's just, it's a child. It's what children do. That's just... And I'm not saying it to be rude. Again, it's just, it is what children do. So I guess, is that just the character study that we're doing here? Is that what we're finding out? Is that the psychological analysis? Is Trump cultists are just psychologically on the same level of children and like shitty children too? I guess so. That is what it is, right? It is that simple, right? And this is why I feel so comfortable generalizing these people and painting with a broad brush so often. Because so often they just show themselves to be this way. They just are this bad at engaging in genuine, good faith intellectual discourse. When were you going to refute what Austin said? All I saw was you reading the cover of the book and not understanding there's pages to read behind it. I said what I said, though. Well, friends, we're just about done with this one. I think that's just about everything, but I just remembered while I was editing that Austin, who was editing in the park a couple days ago, predicted that there would be some random racism thrown into Lisa's video, and we didn't really cover that. So Austin in the park, this one's for you, bud.
Looks like all that, hey, bring them in, we want them. Everybody should be here because white people stole this land to begin with. So everybody should be, look at New York now. This wasn't happening under my president. You know, he was so mean. He didn't want to let all those bad guys in here. Look at us now. Look at us now. Now we're bitching and complaining because we got to put their kids in school. Let's talk about Haiti because I know y'all love that little sentence. That shithole. It's a shithole. Do you know? Or are you just up here pandering to people talking about Beyonce's internet? Let me touch on that. Is it really Beyonce's internet? Or is it Taylor Swift's internet? Because I Googled it. And I know you hate nasty little facts. But it's more so Donald Trump's internet than Beyonce.
Yeah, she just had to take a beat in the video to be like, you're virtue signaling by saying that the internet belongs to a black woman. It actually belongs to a white woman. I Googled it. She Googled it, everyone. She Googled it, and Google told her that the internet actually belongs to Taylor Swift, that it's actually Taylor Swift's internet. That's a thing that you can Google. And then like 2 seconds later, she's like, but it's not even Taylor Swift's. It's actually Donald Trump's because she's also got to be misogynistic too. She can't let a white woman run the internet. She has to give it to a white, straight, cisgender man. Yeah, anyway, I don't know. I think after all of this, I think what we're all just coming to realize together is that there's just not much here, right? There's just not much there when it comes to psychoanalyzing Trump supporters. They're just by and large infantile and simplistic and not very good at most things. And there's a lot of them. There are tens of millions of them out there.
I just wish that some of them would show up to, like a few of Lisa's videos. All right, Jesus Christ, I'm so hot. I turned off the AC in this Airbnb to make this video. And the sun, now that I'm done recording, the sun finally fucking decided to go behind a cloud and give me some nice diffused lighting again. Now that I'm done recording the video. Fuck you, Toronto sky and sun. Thanks for watching the video. I'm done. I'm going to go watch a movie now at the Toronto Film Festival. So, okay, let me know what you thought about it or don't in the comments, whatever. Hope you had a good time. Lisa, if you watched the video, big fan. Hope you respond again or don't. I don't really care at this point. It's fine. I'm not going to respond anymore. This is it. I'm done with this whole thing between you and me. It was fun while it lasted. We had a great run, but I'm going to go watch other things and talk about other things. Yeah. Patreon.com/Austin Archer if you want to support this show and what I do. My podcast is called People Pleaser with Austin Archer. You can find the video version here on my YouTube channel, or you can listen to that on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. I got music on Spotify or Apple Music or at my Bandcamp. It's all linked in the thingy. You can get it all at the linky dinky. Get it. Okay, we're done. We're done now. We're done. We're done. Bye. Goodbye. 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 Just a mediocre white guy with a mustache. I probably have nothing if it weren't for the mustache. I'd just be another average white guy trying to use my skin and my gender to skate by. But I've got a mustache.